Hi everybody, I'm Melissa from Beauty is My Duty, and today I'm going to be here to show you how to fill in your brows properly and do a brow tutorial because eyebrows are my favorite thing. So for this tutorial, the only thing that you're going to need is I'm going to be using Benefit's Browsings, the brow kit. One side is a wax and the other side is a powder. The left side is just a tinted wax, and then just a hard angle brush here. That has a spoolie on the other end. This is from Crown Brushes. So the first thing you want to do is just brush your brows into place. Now I am so used to filling in my brows, I know exactly how to follow them, but if you're not sure, if you want to measure your brow out to see where it should start arching in, you can just take something and like a stick or a Q-tip or whatever, and just put it in the inside groove of your nose and go straight up alongside the bridge. That's where your brow should start. That's the first point A. Okay, so I'm just going to mark a little point there. Point B should go from the outside of the nose through the center of the pupil. That should be the highest point of your arch. Some people also have theirs on the outside of the iris, like myself. And the last point, point C, goes from the corner of the nose to the corner of the eye, point C, corner to corner. So that's when your brow should start arching in, and you may notice that your brow may be a little bit longer or shorter in some places. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our brush and coat it in the wax and also the powder. Just taking a little bit of product here, and we're just going to line on top. Doing a straight line right through the brow. If you notice, I'm doing kind of like little stroking motions. I don't want it to be too, the line to be too straight like you're trying to draw. Okay, so that's point A to B. Then B to C, you're going to take the brush and start turning it as you go downward. Okay, wax and powder again. For more intensity, what you can do is just wet the tip of the brush right before you put it in the wax and the powder. So we're going to go underneath. I'm just going to raise my brow so I can see. And just do gentle strokes. Straight line. Because what you're doing, I'm doing a little bit more product. What you're doing, you're just outlining your brow. Following the brow shape, I'm going to go from B to C, turning the brush downwards, gentle strokes, straight lines. So now now that I've outlined the shape that I want, I'm going to go back and fill it in so that it's a little bit more intense, not necessarily darker, but more intense with the color. So, well, I guess you could call that darker. So wax and powder. I'm going to take the brush and pull it upwards here to create a very flat front, and just coat it right over my natural shape. I'm going to add a little bit more product, so I'm double dipping back and forth between the wax and the powder, staying within the lines that I created. Now sometimes I'll soften the head of the brow, which is here. You can just brush through it and brush through the entire brow to kind of smooth and blend everything together. You go outside the lines, don't worry, you can just take your finger and just wipe it off. Okay, that's the first side. The second side, wax and powder. I'm going to brush that brow into place first. And you can start on top or on bottom, whichever your preference is. I'm going to start on top over here. Straight line, A to B. Dipping back and forth, turning the brush down. Straight line, B to C. Same thing underneath. At this point, I'm going to just dampen my brush a little bit. I'm in the bathroom, so I'll just tap it in the sink. Wax. And then the powder, like so. I'm going to go underneath here. Notice how I keep picking the brush up, lifting it from the skin, because that helps you to keep more control as opposed to just dragging it straight across. Your line might not be as straight. Now I'm going to pull it up to go ahead and fill it in with the same product left on my brush. Add a little bit more product here, wax and powder. Coating it right through the brow. Keep that control. Okay, and you're going to find it's maybe a little bit more difficult for you to do one brow as opposed to the other brow, because your brows may not necessarily be exactly the same, which is so normal. I mean, it's hard to find somebody that has the exact same brow on both sides. So the only thing you'll have to do is either make one brow a little bit thicker, one brow a little bit thinner, or, you know, one brow you may have to give a little bit more point to, and so forth. So there you have it. Perfect arches. I remember to always take the brush at the end to run it through the brows. That just softens and blends both the wax and the powder. And this little kit is by Benefit Cosmetics. I'm using the dark shade. It does come in 3 shades, light, medium, and dark. Alright, so just to recap really quickly, find your points on your brows. You want to outline the brow first on top, underneath, and then fill the brow in, all while using gentle strokes throughout the brow. Alright, so if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those. And alright, that's about all for me.